My video, 9 Harsh Truths That Gen Xers Need to Hear, really got the conversation going among us Gen Xers. Today, I've got 9 more hard and serious truths. Some of these truths are coming at us fast, and many of them nobody's talking about, but we need to. So since I've opened the can on this conversation, let's just go deeper today. Now, I'm saying this to myself as much as to you because I've found in my 50s that these truths are hitting me hard, and I know I am not alone. So here are 9 realities that we're facing, and the most controversial of them all is probably the last one. And if you missed part 1, I'll link it at the end, so be sure to check that out. Okay, the first truth I want to discuss is that our earning power is probably peaking, and it's time to maximize it. Outside of basic cost of living raises, many of us have hit or are hitting our peak earning years. And that makes right now the best time to maximize every dollar that we bring in. We need to be proactive and explore every way that we can get that money we're bringing in to work even harder for us. We've got years left to use that compounding to our advantage, but we don't have that many years left, so we've got to get busy. Number 2 hard truth is our parents may outlive their money. And what happens then? Retirement is expensive today. Life is expensive today. Many of our parents are living out the reality of their older, later years. And for some, their money may not last as long as their life does. And it's easy to think of this as their problem, not ours. But I personally believe that we are called to honor our parents. And that means that we need to be there when it gets difficult for them. You may find out suddenly, without warning, that the roles between you and your parents, they're shifting and shifting fast. The child becomes the caregiver, the financial backup, the safety net. Think about it now, not later. What will you do if they run out of money and Social Security isn't enough? What would stepping in look like for you? Is it even possible? It might be time now to have those uncomfortable conversations with our parents. Getting a clearer picture today of what their financial situation looks like is a lot better than scrambling around when a mess hits and there's no time to turn it around or fix it. Number 3 hard truth is your health can decline fast after 50, and it can snowball. When health issues start popping up in your 50s, please don't ignore them. Even if you cannot reverse a condition, you can still prevent more from piling on. Because that's the real danger now. You know, we think we're dealing with one issue, and suddenly we're putting out fires all over the place. You know, gone are the days where you could just power through a cold or shrug off, a bad meal. It takes longer for us to recover from things. And once you're managing one chronic condition, it often makes you vulnerable to others. Now is the time to face this head on. Now is the time to strengthen your daily health habits. Because once decline starts, it can move really fast. And reversing it later is a much steeper climb. Number 4 real truth is that you're now the target of the scammers because they know you have money. Now, if you were a scammer, who would you target? A Gen Zer who's barely making it to the next payday? Or a busy, stressed out Gen Xer with a chunky 401k? Sure, the Gen Zer might be easier to trick, but it's way more lucrative to play the odds with us, the more established generation. And trust me, they know that. So tuck that thought into your mind and stay vigilant. Scammers today, they are smart, sophisticated, and relentless. And those are not compliments. So stay up to date on how cyber criminals are doing their thing these days, because Gen Xers, we are a target. Now, if you'd like to go a lot deeper on this topic, check out the video I just did on Gen X scams to watch out for. I'll link it in the description box below. Now, the fifth reality check is that Social Security, it won't be enough, and it's likely to get worse. We already know that Social Security won't cover the cost of living. That's not the harsh truth. The harsh truth is that it will probably get much worse. We've watched this type of story unfold before. As Gen X kids, we watched both of our parents have to go out and work and earn a living just to keep up. And today, the cost of living, it's running away from us again, while Social Security faces uncertainty and shortfall rumors. So here's the question: how will you bolster your income as you age? Have you thought about it? Will you wait until age 70 to claim Social Security benefits? Will your savings carry you through 30 or more years of retirement? And while we're talking Social Security, here's something many Gen Xers, they overlook, and it could cost you the rest of your life. Now, while we're in our 50s, we're probably at our peak earning years. I talked about that earlier in the video. And Social Security, they will take your 35 highest earning years to calculate your benefit. And every year that you work a higher income year, one of those other 35 that were really low, probably when we were in our 20s or even, part-time in our teens, one of those years will fall off for every higher earning year that you tack on. So if we quit in our 50s, we're losing out on some of those higher income years that we can use to get a higher Social Security benefit. And I understand that sometimes quitting isn't a choice. Sometimes it's a necessity. But if it is a choice, just put that into your thought process. It's just one way to maximize your Social Security benefit, but it only works if you stay in the game a little longer. The number 6 harsh truth is that lifestyle creep is stealing your retirement, and you may not even realize it. I mean, if you're still living large and dreading that credit card bill coming in every month, then it's time to have a little reckoning with yourself. These are the years to get your savings invested and give compounding one last solid run. Every year that you let lifestyle creep clean out your wallet is a year that those dollars can't work for your future. It's better to rein in that YOLO spending now while you still can than to have to face really hard choices later on. Now, number 7, my American Gen Xer friends, we could be one health crisis away from financial disaster. I hate this one. I really do. It infuriates me to think about the state of our healthcare system today, with no upper limit, it seems, on what it could cost to get proper care. And even with insurance, many people are financially pinned down, stuck with monthly prescription costs and ongoing expenses for chronic conditions, astronomical deductibles. But one thing is clear, this is not the time to be walking around uninsured. The reality is that an accident or a critical diagnosis, they can come out of nowhere. And you have to think of the financial side of that in advance. As Americans, we have to make sure that we at least have catastrophic health insurance. Catastrophic health insurance is usually a health insurance policy that has a really high deductible, but it will also have an out-of-pocket maximum. So you at least have that protection that way. And that's what makes that kind of a health policy better than not having anything at all. But you absolutely also need to know what your in-network hospitals and providers are, and you need to know those in advance because you're not going to be able to think about it in an emergency situation. And if for no other reason, health emergencies require us to have some kind of an emergency fund, fast, accessible cash that's not all tied up in our retirement accounts. We need this emergency fund to cover those deductibles, co-pays, prescriptions. And number 8, if you don't stay current with technology, you will be left behind. I don't want technology to race too far ahead of me to where I can't catch up with it. Now, starting this YouTube channel broadened my tech horizons quite a bit. But I also count playing video games, which I still love to do when I can squeeze the time in. I'm also using AI more and more each day, and I try to stay on top of all the new features that each phone update, will introduce. It's a lot to keep up with these days. And the things I just mentioned are pretty much personal tech. I didn't even touch on the technology that's required in our careers or our jobs. So come on, Gen X. We've been embracing technology ever since the first ATMs started showing up. Remember that? So we're not slowing down now. We've got a lot of decades left to navigate. And tech literacy is going to be key in keeping us independent and capable in those later years. Now here's number 9, and I told you in the beginning that this was probably the most controversial one. Gen X's identity is being eroded. Are you ready for it? Now I'm sure many of you are aware at a lot of the hate that's being flung at the boomers these days. And I'll be honest, I don't like it. I've never liked lumping an entire generation into one big dumping ground. I do like using our generational labels to unite us, to reflect on our common traits and our life experiences, our memories. But to tear down an entire demographic just to vent frustrations, that's not fair. Now, why do I bring all this up? Because I think we're next. In fact, it's already started to some degree. You have Gen Z TikToks bashing Gen X, and they're racking up millions of views. And if we think what the boomers are going through is bad, it could be just the tip of the iceberg for us. Why? 2 reasons. The world, it seems to be getting worse, and people need someone to blame for that. And 2, online hate culture, it's exploding. It's easier than ever to go viral by stirring up some kind of division. So Gen X, brace yourself, because I fear this is coming. And of course, we don't care. Whatever. That's our motto, right? We can handle it. We're tough. Now, we've long been nicknamed the forgotten generation. And maybe, if we're lucky, we'll fly under the radar on this one as well. But I don't count on it. And one last thing, there's no Gen X versus Gen Z war out there. We don't have to pour gasoline on this fire. Let them think what they want. We can stand in our own truth and keep moving forward. That's the Gen X way. Now I feel like I'm going to get a lot of comments on these truths, and I welcome them. I welcome all sides of the debate, as long as you're not slinging hate at someone else or me. Let me just say this, as Gen Xers, we are powerful right now. We're wiser than we've ever been. We've got more life experience than ever. And chances are we've already survived a few broken hearts and more than a few financial hard times. All of that and everything that we've walked through makes us unstoppable in many ways. Gen Xers are resilient, we're gritty, we're innovative, and we're ready for the future. Now, if this video spoke to you, be sure to check out part 1. I'll link it right here. And please be sure to subscribe, because we're not done talking about the things that matter to us. I've also linked a playlist right here on the retirement realities facing Gen X. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.